Hi, I'm Kim Cole and this is my OMG interview. So I'm actually excited about the fact that my TV show is now going to be aired on TV6, CCN TV6, The Cold Truth. On The Cold Truth, we deal with a lot of social issues. It's not primarily about highlighting an issue, but it's about holding the powers that be accountable. So I see a lot of people, a lot of media personalities, they highlight issues and stuff, but it's just highlighted, but nothing is actually done in a lot of cases. So on our television show, we seek to fix the issues. We seek to provide solutions in the short term as well as the long term. This show is not limited to what we can and what we cannot do and discuss. We are not limited in terms of a particular demographic. It's the people's program. We deal with everything. So there's a bit of politics, political representation. That would be one of the areas that we would want to focus on, given the fact that pretty soon we are, or we should be, getting prepared for local government elections and subsequently general elections. The people have a lot to say. Have you seen your local government representative? Have you seen your member of parliament? And what is the feedback that the actual people have? Right, so as it relates to local government as well as general elections, many citizens have expressed concerns as it relates to their representation and their representatives. So this is an opportunity for even the political, the actual office holder, whether it be the councillor or the member of parliament or even the senator, to let us know what they have achieved, what they were able to achieve, for the duration of the time that they were representing the people. Right. So we also we're going to continue dealing with several issues that were presented to us. One of the main areas that I love and I enjoy, I'm very passionate about, is children's rights. So I started a non-governmental organization. It was called the One Oak Foundation, and I focus specifically on children who would have lost their parent to violent crime. It was something that was very personal to me in that I had a chance meeting with a little boy whose father was murdered a couple days ago, a couple days prior, and he expressed his hurt, his pain, and a willpower and a promise to actually avenge or take revenge for the death of his father. That it struck a nerve with me because he's 6 and a 6-year-old is a baby pretty much, yeah. And I decided to listen to him, and I would have recommended him to get to access counseling services from professionals. And I think as time went by, he began to understand how to deal with his pain, and he has never expressed the feeling of wanting to the vendetta that he would have had, it no longer exists. I would have interviewed the head of the Trinidad and Tobago Association for Psychologists, Dr. Catherine Naked Chatur, and in that particular interview, she would have expressed to me that one of the major causes of bullying would have come from parental bereavement. And at that point, I realized that I was actually doing something good, even though I never publicized what I was doing, because I believe that, when you're doing charity and stuff like that, I don't believe that it should be publicized. But, at that point, I realized that it was not simply about doing charity work, but it was more about empowering and empowerment. So I actually took these steps, my team and I took these steps to formalize the organization, and I would be launching the organization pretty soon in the next coming months. In my early 20s, I think I would have been or become very shallow, hollow, materialistic as a person. If something wasn't designer, I wouldn't wear it. And you know, sometimes things happen to you, and something did happen, and I returned to Trinidad sometime in and around 2014, and I decided that I would you know, host a TV show just to become a bit more popular, and I would subsequently branch off into what I have been doing, which is fashion. So the you know, the intent was to host this TV show and launch, you know, a line of clothing boutiques and stuff like that. And so, you know, I called up one of my dear friends. I asked him, I told him, you know, what my plan was, and he said, no problem. In fact, I have a show coming on, and you're going to host it for me. So I said, okay, fine. And the show was totally opposite what I intended to do. And that would have been the Black Caucus movement, the now defunct Black Caucus movement. You know, it has been, many people would have expressed, you know, dissatisfaction and you know, a lot of negativity towards the organization. But for me, it helped me to understand the plea of the small man in a more detailed and personal manner. Because within the organization, we had a social sector whereby people would come with their issues and we would, you know, highlight it. So at that point, I started, you know, listening. I listen a lot. And I started listening to the issues, and then I went out there, I got the necessary assistance that was required, and so on and so forth. I stumbled upon an HDC development that was dilapidated, uninhabitable. Funny enough, it was recently constructed. And, you know, the team and I, we decided that you know, it's an issue that we would highlight. And we ended up, you know, opening up Pandora's box per se, in that we recognized that there were about more than 26 developments throughout the country that were uninhabitable, that were, some of them were literally built in a swamp. So it signified, you know, the wanton wastage, the wanton spending, a lot of corruption. And it was saddening in that you have a lot of citizens in the country who do not have a place to call home. There are a lot of people in the country who, you know, can't, you know, afford basic, just the basics to get by. And here it is, you have billions of dollars of taxpayers' money that, you know, literally just was squandered and ended up, you know, being wasted. So from that, I built a lot of momentum in that I managed to, or the team and I should say rather, we were able to secure some 1,000+ signatures that we took to the Minister of Housing, and I believe to the HDC, in an attempt to, you know, to get something done, to get some sort of action. And we did receive positive feedback from the HDC, but at that, you know, I was, my role in that HDC drive, it had come to an end. And I mean, unfortunately, you know, nothing came out of it in the end after, you know, all of that. But I kind of felt, you know, disappointed, because a lot, you have, you know, you had, I think it was over 220,000 applicants, and there were a lot of people just, you know, looking on with the expectation that, yes, finally something would be done, and okay, the application that I would have had for, you know, 10, 15, 20 years, we would have gotten some sort of, you know, remedy, but nothing came out of it. So it hurt me, it disappointed me big time. But you know, I continued on. Funny enough, shortly after, like literally about a couple months after, there was the local government election, and I decided that I would contest the Ozenville-Tunapuna seat. So we had the local government elections just about 2 months after the HDC, the HDC issue was, you know, dealt with. and I decided that I actually wanted to continue to help people. You know, a lot of people in this country feel hopeless. They feel as though they don't have a voice. I know it may come across as cliche, but you know, a lot of people literally, they don't even know what to do. There is a great sense of despondent. A lot of them come across as very despondent, and I decided that I would contest the Tunapuna seat, because Tunapuna is my hometown. That's where I would have grown up, spent, you know, most of my years and all of that. And even though I did not win the seat, I continued to work. When it comes to the issues that I highlight, there is one intention, there is one aim, there is one outcome that, you know, I aspire to achieve, and that would be to getting the problem fixed. There is a no holds barred approach, and I am willing to go the distance to ensure that, you know, something comes out of the issues that, you know, is highlighted, at least the cold truth. We are able to come up with the cold truth with respect to many of the issues, or the issues that we intend to highlight. You know, the opening billboard for the show, ladies and gentlemen, our country is falling apart, crime is out of control, it is our duty to fix it. We are touching on every sector of society, race, class, and corruption. Nothing is off limits, no holds barred. The cold truth with Kimm. That is the show, the concept of the show in a nutshell. So it's a serious program. It deals with the issues, because at this point, I think that, you know, our country has really been, you know, imploding. There are so many issues. You know, poverty is on the rise, crime is out of control. I mean, we have a new commissioner of police, and I hope that you know, the citizens give him a fair opportunity, and they work with him, they assist him to get crime under control. But many people have expressed that they feel as if they live under siege in this country. You know, there are so many different things to talk about. So again, it's a serious program. When it comes to my foundation is my pet. It's like, you know, it's like a baby. It's new, and I'm very delicate with that, because of the children that I work with, given that they would have been victims of their parents' death, parental bereavement. I think, you know, a lot more awareness, and not just awareness needs to come out of it, but the children need to be empowered. So I really give that my all, you know, my heart and my soul. And just seeing one child, just seeing, you know, something positive come from one child, it gives me the hope to continue on. Damn if you don't, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You know, you are all, given what I am doing, there is somebody's feathers who you will have to ruffle, or who will feel that their feathers are being ruffled. You may have to step on a toe or two from time to time. I try to not do that, but my aim again and my goal is to ensure that people's needs, I mean, or the issues that people that the people face, it is sorted. Not just in the long term, because we have seen it from, you know, time and time again. It's almost as if, you know, it's just a plaster that's being put on a problem, and the problem is not being fixed. There is nothing in depth being done. It's just, you know, we Trinidadians have this 9-day, you know, 9-day mentality where, okay, yes, you know, the ground has a crack today, and then, you know, the next 6 to 9 days, everybody forgets about it, and it gets swept under the carpet. But there must be, you know, the media has to play its role in terms of keeping these issues on the front burner. It's an open platform, you know. As I said, we're not limited to what we can and cannot discuss. It's not primarily about politics. and political representation. That is one aspect of it. We focus on major issues, the decriminalization of marijuana, the LGBT community, parenting, child maintenance, children's rights, human trafficking, you know, prostitution, all these things that affect us. That's what we talk about. That's what the show is about. It's about current affairs, social issues, and you know, from time to time we will have seasonal segments whereby, you know, an entertainer or two, you know, have the opportunity to, we give them a platform, you know. My and I'm gonna give you this. When I walked into a police station with marijuana on me, and I did not know that I had, you know, I think it was an ounce of marijuana. I walked into the police station and, you know, I was yapping away, all talking and stuff. And I was actually searching in my bag. I was searching in my purse for something. And I couldn't find it. So what I did, I just toppled. I emptied the bag on the countertop and whoosh, the marijuana fell out. That was an OMG moment for me because I was subsequently arrested. I was strip searched. I was... you know, I had to endure, you know, some really demeaning, you know, things, but I was in jail. You know, I spent a night or two in a prison cell, and it was a very learning experience for me. I learned a lot because in the end, obviously, I wasn't charged or anything like that because my explanation made a lot of sense to the police and so on. But that is one of the driving forces behind me, you know, lobbying and encouraging healthy discussion as it relates to the decriminalization of marijuana. Because a lot of young people who are caught with a joint, you know, just a smoke, they are arrested, they are charged, they are thrown in prison. Some of them are not even serving a sentence. They are in remand for years. You know, they come out, they end up, you know how the story goes, yeah? But that's one of the reasons behind, you know, me pushing for the decriminalization of marijuana. So I want to say thank you to all of the viewers. If you would like to be a part of The Cold Truth, you can follow us on our Facebook fan page. It's The Cold Truth TT. And if you have any issues that you would like to highlight or you would want for us to look into, it's thecoldtruthtt@gmail.com. You can also contact us directly, 295-9634. You can call or you can text. That's not a WhatsApp number. In addition, you can follow me on Instagram as well as Facebook, Kimm Cole. That's Kimm with 2 M's, Cole. And yeah, that's about it. Bye.